Hey everybody, so today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about bee smokers. And I'm going to show you one and how you can light it with just stuff you'd have around the homestead. So you don't have to have anything fancy and they're not complicated. But still, when I first got one, I was like, I don't really know the proper way to light it. So anyway, this is your standard bee smoker. This one's a little smaller than normal. It's got the chamber where you put your material and it's got the air pump. And it's really that simple. And it's not complicated at all. And you can absolutely light it with nothing fancy at all. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a little bit of paper towel to start the fire. I'm going to use some waste hay here. And then I'm going to use a little bit of chopped straw at the end, which probably isn't even needed, but it's more fine, so it kind of fills up the space a little better. And then once we do that, we're just going to do a check on the bees to show you how easy the whole process is. And the reason that a smoker works, there's a couple theories about why. The biggest theory is that it messes with their signals so that they can't send out an alert when you're there. But also it signals to them that there's a forest fire, and what they do is they gorge themselves on honey to prepare to evacuate. So that's not the best thing to know about using a smoker, but either way it works, and beekeepers need a way to control it. I could be out here in a complete bee suit, wouldn't need it. It's like 30 degrees, so that gets really tricky. And then you lose all your nimbleness of your fingers. So I prefer this way. And so far I've only ever been stung once, and probably from my own fault. So I'm just going to show you lighting it, how easy it can be. So all I do, I drop that down there. I make sure it's going. Once I'm convinced that's burning and you can see the fire in there now, I just start stuffing straw in. I keep the fire. Because you don't want an actual fire. What you want is the smoke, which is exactly what we're already getting. Smells beautiful. I'm just going to grab a little bit of crushed straw. Because like I said, this is even finer than the hay. I'm just going to push it in. And that's it. Then you close the top. You continue it going. And that's it. That is as easy as it is. Now, this isn't going to burn for very long. This is a small smoker, but everything we need. What you do, you blow it on your hand. You want to make sure you're getting smoke, not fire. You don't want this hot. Of course, you do not want to scald your bees. Which is why I stuff the straw in the way I do. It actually extinguishes the fire and just leaves like embers burning to create smoke. You don't want this like an actively burning fire. You know, like a hot fire, or else the smoke would be hot. You don't want that. So this is very, very barely warm. Exactly what we want. It's smoking well. That's it. That's how simple it is. And you don't need to buy anything fancy to get that started. Just the stuff that's around your homestead, right? You don't want, don't spend any more money than you need to. So yeah, so let's take this to the bees, and then you get to see it work in progress. And I'll show you exactly how it works. There's not really anything to it. And yeah, we'll go from there. So here we are at the beehive. I just give it a little bit of smoke before I start anything at all. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the top off. The good thing about that, once again, because the smoke isn't warm, you don't have to worry about it catching things on fire. It's not actually hot. I wouldn't leave it in the grass burning, obviously, but I just need to put it down, right? So I'm going to do some smoking the bees. And then what I like to do is I leave it going somewhere while I work, and I like it to be in a spot where the smoke is just kind of bellowing on me the whole time. That way, if the bees come toward me, they're getting hit by the smoke. Usually it's as simple as putting it somewhere there. You can see the way the wind is today. That's usually where I keep it. But today we'll put it down this way because I want it blowing toward me, right? And all we're doing today is a hive check. I'm going to tell you right now, I see something I really, really don't like. I see ants. So I see that the bees have went to the end of the space I provided them, which just means we need to open it up a little bit more. And by open it up a little bit more, I mean I need to go and get a tool to open this up because they have a little bit of cross comb going on and everything's stuck together a little bit. Bees are getting agitated, so we just smoke them a little bit again. And actually, we do have a viewer, so I'm going to see what I can see through the viewer. Okay, so as we can see, the bees are actually at capacity for what I've provided them. And what we need now is to open it up and allow them the rest of this comb. And by comb, I mean hive. So they clearly built the capacity. So they are doing well. All right, so I did get this spot open. Perfect. Minor problems. So up here, we can see that they've built all the way, and they're building awkwardly. So we have another cross comb situation going on in there. So what we are going to do, because they're at capacity, we are just going to give them more space to work with. It's kind of neat, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And that's all that's really to the smoker, is we let it go.
So yeah. What is this behavior? We're going to have to look at this. What are they doing? They're making a bridge?
Yeah.
What?
And I'm not sure why they're doing that exactly. It could also be the behavior because I just split their comb a little bit. They were building right where I pulled apart. So I don't know.
Oh my God, look at this poor little dude. He's like, guys!
He's getting pulled.
Guys!
Yeah. What are you doing, guys?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna kill me.
All right, so this is the actual piece that forms the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to give them more space by putting in other pieces in between so that they just have more room to build comb.
And so just 2 or 3? Just
Probably
so that they don't do more cross? Or?
We're probably going to give them 4 because they're building rapidly. Perfect.
Yeah, stand there. Okay, so we got a little shade. So we can see them. Very cool.
We will have to see what you do when you have ants. So we do have some ants.
Little baby ants.
Yeah, which of course we do not want.
Because they're eating the honey.
Yeah, and I really don't know how bees deal with ants. You'd think that a bee would be able to handle an ant, but it's probably just because they're so small. So these are together really tight. Oh, I am getting it though.
I see that they're carrying eggs.
Yeah.
So.
Their own, by the look of it.
They're carrying their own eggs. Yeah. Yeah, they're all right there, so.
Yeah. So we'll just have to.
Can that come up? I didn't see any comb really.
Yeah, there is comb.
So there's comb.
There's comb, but there's ants. So the bees just aren't dealing with the ants, I guess.
So we'll have to figure out how to help them.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to deal with small ants. Because, of course, we don't want ants living in here. It doesn't seem fully infested, that we have a localized spot there, but we'll come back to that and figure out how to deal with that. Of course, ants would be attracted to honey. So this must be a constant problem that bees and beekeepers have. So there must be some type of solution. Mm-hmm. we'll figure out what that is and then go from there. But anyway, that's it for the smoker, which is actually now kind of blowing out, so the timing's perfect. Gives me just enough time to put the top back on. And get out of here before they get too mad. That's it. Still no stings, so we're doing good for the season. Thanks for joining, and tune in next time.